It's been another really warm day across KELOLAND, though not as warm as yesterday. We've had plenty of sunshine here in the south. There are a few clouds up in the north. Overnight tonight, we'll call it partly cloudy. It'll be mild, low 26 in Sioux Falls. Aberdeen could be a few flurries toward the morning, but just flurries. Overnight low of 22. Pierre, breezy at 27. Rapid City, partly cloudy at 32 degrees. Your weekend looks warm. Let's get started on the windy side tomorrow. Sioux Falls with a brisk south wind, high of 52 degrees. Aberdeen breezy 47, Pierre 51, Rapid City 57 degrees. Just a few degrees cooler on Sunday. Then next week, much colder. We'll talk about that in just a bit. KELOLAND News starts now.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group. KELOLAND News first at 4.
Coming up, what's next for a century-old courthouse in southeastern South Dakota?
Plus, we have an update on the bridge between Pierre and Fort Pierre.
And then we're going to take a look at a bill that would put a moratorium on casinos in Iowa. Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in to First at 4. I'm Don Jorgensen.
And I'm Kelly Volk. A Hot Springs woman has been identified in a deadly crash west of town earlier this week. Just after 7 o'clock Tuesday morning, a tractor pulling farm equipment was heading west when it was rear-ended by a SUV. The driver of the SUV, 38-year-old Judith Garland Wright, died at the scene. A
10-year-old boy and 6-year-old boy in the SUV were hurt in the crash, with the 6-year-old suffering life-threatening injuries. The driver of the tractor suffered minor injuries.
Zediq Management runs multiple apartment buildings in Sioux Falls, and over the years, we've heard many complaints about living conditions there. The city of Sioux Falls has even started weekly meetings with Zediq staff. But following concerns about utilities being shut off soon in some of the buildings, the city hosted a press conference this morning in front of Zediq's Timber Creek Apartments on East Rice Street. Mayor Paul Tenhaken had this message.
My message to this property manager, owner, anyone, is that we want to hold you accountable, and we will hold you accountable if you're not meeting the requirements that we have as a community, as a city, in ordinance. And like I said, there's some things that are ethical and moral that we think should be done, and there's things that are legally required that need to be done. So shape up, do better.
Tonight on KELOLAND News, we'll take a look at some of the issues we've heard about Zediq properties and bring you more from this morning's news conference, including when the city can step in and when it can't.
A century-old courthouse in southeastern South Dakota is set to be torn down next week. The Turner County Courthouse has stood in Parker since 1902. Last year, a team of structural engineers found several safety issues with the courthouse. Back in June, water had leaked into the building after heavy rains and the trusses that were sagging. Coming up later tonight on KELOLAND News, we're going to look back at the history of the courthouse and the plans moving forward.
Demolition crews are taking advantage of our recent warm weather to make progress on the Waldron Bridge between Pierre and Fort Pierre. The state DOT says steady progress is being made in removing steel components from the old bridge. Excavation crews are also working on both sides of the river, clearing away the old roadbed to prepare for more construction. The DOT says if the good weather holds, the team could be on track for a spring completion.
Well, speaking of good weather, pretty nice day out there.
Certainly.
The end of January, and it certainly doesn't feel like it.
Is this going to continue, Jay?
Yes, the mild temperatures will all weekend long, but not going to be twice as nice because especially tomorrow it's going to be really windy. Right now, we are enjoying the end of a day which saw 45 degrees in Sioux Falls. We've dropped back 1 degree. We're at 44, but that's enough to melt more of that ice on the falls of the Big Sioux. Just north breeze at 9 miles an hour. Aberdeen, there are some thicker clouds coming in from the west. Nothing coming out of those clouds, maybe a flurry toward morning. Our temperature right now in Aberdeen, much cooler at 23. Pierre's got some hazy sunshine, 35 degrees there with an east breeze. And in Rapid City, very warm, 57 degrees. There are some clouds out over the Black Hills, but again, nothing coming out of those clouds. Here are the temperatures, and note a couple things. Number one, it is much warmer in the south than in the north. We're in the low to mid 20s in northeastern South Dakota, the low to mid 40s here in the southeast. And of course, Rapid City, kind of a different situation at 57. You see those arrows? That is the wind, and the wind's going to turn to the south tonight and pick up a bit. Our overnight low 26 in Sioux Falls, 22 Aberdeen, 27 in Pierre, 32 in Rapid City. And then during the day tomorrow, it'll be partly cloudy. We'll have a strong south wind, and it's right back to the 50s here in Sioux Falls at 52. Aberdeen and Watertown at 47. Pierre's at 51, 57 degrees in Rapid City. Now, we will have more clouds on Sunday, and temperatures will be a couple degrees cooler, much cooler next week. In fact, we're talking about teens and 20s for highs, and we'll have a few shots at some light snow. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Jay. Earlier this week, the Iowa House passed a bill that would set a 5-year moratorium on new casinos in the state. The moratorium would last through June 30th of 2030. Supporters of the measure say that this would stop the Iowa Racing and Gaming Commission from possibly issuing a license for a proposed $275 million casino in Cedar Rapids. Lawmakers passed the measure on a 68-31 vote earlier this afternoon.
This bill potentially eliminates $60 million in gaming revenue for the state of Iowa and removes a valuable tool for this Assembly's bid to lower the property taxes for our fellow Iowans.
I do believe we are in the correct purview to tell the Iowa Racing Gaming Commission how they should make major decisions. We created them. We change the rules on a nearly yearly basis. A ruling of this significance, I believe, should have us electeds' involvement.
Meanwhile, an Iowa Senate subcommittee and committee advanced the measure to the floor for debate. If the bill passes, the legislation would need to be signed into law before February 6th, which is when the commission will decide on the casino license.
A Central Iowa figure skating club is mourning the loss of fellow athletes killed in the mid-air collision near Washington, D.C. Ophelia Jacobson with our CBS affiliate in Des Moines went to their practice to talk about how the group plans to move forward together.
9-year-old Avi Collins loves figure skating. She's been doing it for 6 years.
It's just a really fun sport.
On the ice, she practices her spins and jumps. But Thursday's lesson was a bit harder than usual.
I was generally very sad about all the losses in that plane.
U.S. Figure Skating confirmed in a statement that several members of the skating community were on the American Airlines flight that collided midair with an Army helicopter in Washington, D.C. Wednesday. The organization says athletes, coaches, and families were coming back from a training camp in Wichita, Kansas.
I just broke down crying.
Coach Ina Kuznetsova says the Central Iowa Figure Skating Club is mourning alongside the entire figure skating world. The loss hits close to home.
The two figure skating coaches from Russia are from my hometown of St. Petersburg.
The skating community is small, but these athletes tell me it's the lessons they learn on the ice that will help them cope with this tragedy.
You fall and you get up because you literally fall in the sport. You have to get up.
If you give up, then all you've fallen for is wasted.
12-year-old Lindsay West says it was tough getting on the ice Thursday.
I was really sad about it.
But Lindsay says she plans to keep skating.
They had dreams of things that they wanted to do, and they didn't get to do that.
In honor of those who will never get to again.
Figure skaters are resilient. We'll just keep going, we'll keep working, we'll keep on skating.
In Des Moines, Ophelia Jacobson, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.